Good evening. So this article related to green jobs came yesterday in the Hindu. It deals with the problem of gender disparity. When I look at this article, I should be able to relate this with my sociology syllabus. Immediately I understand that this falls in paper 2 under women, gender, inequality. Also because there is a word green, which means it refers to something related to the environment. Now let us understand what is green, or what do we understand by green jobs. Now you must be aware that most of the industries, they used to opt for carbon as a fossil fuel for their different needs, and also it was used as a fuel in homes. Now when we understood the importance of fossil fuels, or how fossil fuels were causing a lot of pollution, also they were non-renewable resources. That means we could not recycle them. Then we decided that we would opt for low carbon development, or our economy would depend on industries with less carbon, or which employed less carbon. And then came the concept of green jobs. Those jobs which were environment friendly, right? And our aim is to generate around 35 million green jobs in India by 2047. Now even the ILO, or International Labour Organization, it defines green jobs as decent jobs that contribute to preservation. Okay, note the term preservation or restoration of the environment. So this means we are trying to conserve energy, and thus we are preserving the environment. Now there are many industries which now employ these low carbon initiatives. Some of them are in the manufacturing sector, construction, renewable energy, energy efficiency, automobiles. And the problem here which was noted was that these sectors saw a lower participation of women. So here we understand that this is important to our syllabus. Low representation of women. So whenever there is low representation of women or any gender, it means there is an element of inequality, right? Now what is the reality or status globally? The status is such that men are likely to transition to green jobs faster. That means there are more jobs for men which are environment friendly, or it is easier for men to join these jobs. Now when there is an increase in the capacity, in the renewable energy capacity, then we expect that women should also be a participant in these jobs. For example, in the solar sector. But here it's seen that women workers are mostly concentrated in industries such as these: apparel, textile, leather, food, tobacco. In the solar sector, there are only 11% of the workers who are women. But the men consist of 85% of the workforce in sectors such as these. So this is a problem. Why? Because here we have a lot of jobs in these sectors. We have a lot of jobs. So if we ensure that women are also included as workers, then the problem of unemployment among the women will be solved, right? Now there are many studies regarding how women are being trained. How are they being trained for green jobs? For example, there is a study by Skill Council for Green Jobs. You can quote this in your answers, that 85% of the training was imparted to men. So this is huge. The difference is huge. And what about the women? What did they feel? What was their opinion? 90% of the women, they believed that social norms, because of the norms and values of the society in which they lived in, these norms limited their participation. How? Because they restricted these women somehow. For example, what was the first restriction? It was the belief or mentality that women are unsuitable for technical jobs. Also, there were concerns for safety. The safety practices were not up to par, or they were not good enough to include women as workers. Also, women were not involved in science, technology, engineering and mathematics stream. So, these were some of the major concerns, and of course, family pressures also, where the family was reluctant to send the women to such factories for jobs. Now, how do we solve this problem? There are many solutions here given. You can move to this section, the last section. Here you will see that there is a lot of gap in the data. So firstly, what we have to do? We have to ensure that the data that we have is reliable, that indeed something is happening. Also, we have to understand that women are not equal participants in climate change targets or sustainability targets. For example, here we have gender responsive transitions. What do we understand by gender responsive? It means it includes all the genders. Then we have unequal landscape of women's work and participation in green jobs. So here, as seen previously, there are immense opportunities. The opportunities are huge. But how do we ensure that women come and take part in these jobs? Firstly, we have to understand that there is a problem with the status quo. We have to generate or define the roles of women. Then we have to address the structural barriers. What do we understand by structural barriers? It means societal barriers. Okay? Societal. What does society or how does society enforce restrictions on women's employment? This can be done by ensuring that we have enough women entrepreneurs. We can ensure finances or financial support. We can ensure financial literacy, training, supportive environment. We can ensure they are given loans. The operational costs are less. We can bring women in leadership positions. Also, we have to understand that in businesses, gender justice has to be given importance. Equity has to be given importance when any business is employing workers. It should keep in mind that a good proportion of the workers are women. So, in this way, we can understand that how the emergence of green jobs, they are good for our nation's development, but at the same time, the fruits of this particular aspect of this environment friendly approach should be taken by both or all the genders, right? Only one gender should not benefit because of this particular development, because nowadays every company or most of the companies, they are well aware and they understand that they have to build up environment friendly practices. And naturally, when they are employing these practices, they need people who will be able to lead, who will be able to follow. So, why not include people from other genders also? Okay? All the best.